Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm Zesty. Today, I'm gonna show you guys how I turned these bar stools that I found at the thrift store for $10 into my beautiful kitchen island chairs. Look, I know they look a little beat up, but I promise you this transformation, totally worth watching. I feel that my $30 investment into these stools was well worth it. This was the current state of my kitchen island chairs. I had 2 matching chairs and 1 random chair, and honestly, this just looked super bad. I couldn't deal with it anymore. I needed to do something. And when I found 3 stools that were the same, I thought, you know what? I think we can make these really nice, so let's just do it. I knew these stools were a little too tall for my island, so the first thing I did was to make some measurements to cut the legs. Okay, so after measuring the chairs, we have determined that we need to cut off 5 inches from each of the legs. This is Alexa, my dear friend who's come to help me cut stuff because I don't know how to use power tools. We're gonna be marking all of the legs with some tape, I guess. Yeah, and then we'll get to cutting. Okay, so we're gonna try cutting one first to see what happens. Okay, so we did another test cut and we noticed that when we put some tape on either side, it actually stopped it from splintering a little bit. Okay, so we've retaped the legs and we're gonna be cutting right here. Ready? Yeah. Oh, that was great. Did it? Only a little bit. Perfect. That's not bad at all. Okay, cool, cool.
Okay, so I have to take this lock off then?
Yep.
So if you want, before we even do it, get a feel for what it feels like when it's vibrating before you hit it.
So should I, oh, like just turn it on?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's not bad. All right, guys, I'm gonna try to do this for the first time. Okay, just make sure. Look at you go! It wasn't so bad. It looks so mini now compared to the other ones. It's like the family. It's the baby. We have successfully cut the stools and they look actually pretty leveled. So my chairs are all cut and ready to be stripped and sanded. But before we do that, I actually have to take off these little metal pieces, which I think I am going to be saving. I have been working on removing these screws for about an hour now. I honestly thought this was gonna take me like 10 minutes, but the screws are so rusted that they're really difficult to take out. And I ended up having to spray each of them with some WD-40. Thrift flips, furniture flips, DIYs, a lot of times don't go exactly as planned, and that is okay. Sometimes the things that you think aren't gonna take you long, take you the longest, and the things that you think are gonna take you long will probably still take you long. Anyways, I'll see you back when I'm done taking the rest of these screws out. All right, so I finally got all the metal pieces off of the chairs and I have placed the chairs just on an old tablecloth that I like to use when I am painting or stripping anything. I'm gonna try a new paint stripper, at least new for me. It's called Easy Strip. There's no fumes, no burns, and it seems to be like an eco-friendly option for paint stripper, which is really cool. So after I apply the paint stripper, I'm also going to be applying just a clear plastic sheet on top so that the stripper doesn't dry out. And that should be sitting on the chairs for about an hour before I start to scrape away. I'm using a roller from the dollar store. Last time I stripped furniture, I used this heavy duty stripper that had a lot of fumes. It smelled really bad and literally burned through my gloves, which was terrifying. And yeah, it was just really annoying to work with. So this is really nice. So as you can see, I just finished applying the stripper and I covered all of the chairs with some plastic. I'm gonna let this sit for about an hour. I'm gonna go inside and stretch because my body is aching from all this. So when you're doing flips and DIYs, guys, don't forget to stretch in between and take lots of breaks if you need them. This is kind of my inspo. So I'm thinking something like this. So we're gonna try that and see what happens. Since I'm gonna be painting the legs black, I'm not actually too worried about getting all of this off. I'm just gonna get whatever I can off, sand down the rest so that it's ready for painting, and really focus on stripping the seats. I don't think I added enough stripper to this, as you can see. So I'm gonna add some more. Okay, so I have been back and forth with the steel wool and the scraper, and I don't think it's really doing much. So I think I'm gonna just switch to sanding. I'm gonna get this cleaned up and start sanding away because yeah, I'm already tired of this. Okay.
I went ahead and sanded down the seats, starting with 60 grit sandpaper and working my way up to 240 grit on the first day.
It is almost 9 o'clock and this is how far I've gotten. I am exhausted, so I'm going to call it a day and pick up tomorrow. So far, so good. See you guys tomorrow.
Sanding these stools took me about 4 or 5 hours in total, so I stretched that out into 3 days so that I could take some breaks. I worked my way up to 600 grit sanding paper for a nice smooth finish, and I also smoothed out the bottom of the legs by sanding them down. After that, I used wood filler to cover up all of the holes and imperfections on the stools. This is the tung oil that I used for the seats. I like it because it already has a sealer mixed into it, so you don't have to use it with anything else, and it leaves a really nice natural finish. I started by applying an even coat with a lint-free cloth and letting that dry overnight. And this is what they look like in the morning.
All right, so now that the sanding is done and I've stained the seats, I'm gonna move on to painting everything else black. I'm gonna wait and see if I wanna add another coat of the tung oil to the top. I think it looks good like this, but it might need a little bit more for some extra protection. but I'm gonna wait until after I paint the chairs black for that.
So the paint that I'm using for the chairs is this acrylic exterior paint. It's by Beauty Tone. It's just covered here because I've used this for so many projects. I really, really like this paint. It's mildew resistant and fade resistant because it is technically an outdoor paint. This paint is really, really great for coverage, and I really don't want to put a top coat or even a base coat. I'm just gonna use the paint and see how it goes. This is a flat black paint. I'm really going for that matte black color, which is another reason why I don't want to use a top coat. So we're gonna try that out and see what happens. I'm using a paint roller to paint the chairs in combination with this little brush for any kind of hard to reach areas with the roller. I feel like the roller makes this process a lot quicker and easier as opposed to just using a paintbrush. And it makes the strokes nice and even. Pretty sure I got this roller at like Dollar Tree, and it's freaking awesome. So just show you, just very easily I can coat the front of a leg just like that. But I'm just kind of going across the larger surfaces first with the roller, and then I'll go in between with the paintbrush where I have to. So I got these felt pads at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to add them to the bottoms of the chairs just so that they don't scratch up the surface of my floor. I think they are gonna be a little bit scratchy even though I sanded them, so I'm gonna do this anyway. Okay, I have added all of the little felt pads to the bottoms of the legs. So my chairs are actually all ready to go. Get ready for the reveal because it's coming in 3, 2, 1. These came out so much nicer than I expected. I'm honestly super thrilled with the results. What do you guys think? Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've made it this far, I really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this, please let me know in the comments, and I will see you all very soon. Have an amazing rest of your day. See ya.